y'all, buckle up. This is the story of the Jack in the Box case, and trust me, it's got everything. A burned up body, a shady mama, a snitch daughter, and a whole lot of drama. Let's get into it. May 7th, 2002. Some poor blueberry farmer in Ottawa County, Michigan is out checking his crops when he stumbles across a rusted old trunk just sitting there in the middle of nowhere. He's probably thinking, who left their junk out here? But when he pops it open, boom! There's a body inside, charred to a crisp, looking like it went through a barbecue from hell. The dude calls 911 and the cops roll up, scratching their heads like, what in the CSI is going on here? The scene's a mess. The body's so burned they can't tell if it's a man, woman, or Bigfoot. No face, no fingerprints, nada. But the cops find some wild clues. A hammer, a busted up baseball bat, a piece of rope half burned around the neck, and a melted plastic bag. Yeah. This ain't no camping accident. This poor guy got whacked hard. The coroner's like, yo, this guy got his head bashed in, a bag over his face, and a rope tied tight. Then they lit him up. The cops are thinking, okay, this smells like a drug deal gone south or some gang sending a message. But who's the victim? Here's the only lead they got. The dude's got some janky dental work, a fake tooth setup called a flipper. It's so unique. They're like, bet we can ID this guy in a week. They get a forensic artist from the Michigan State Police to sketch what this poor soul might look like, thinking, we're about to crack this wide open. They don't. Nobody recognizes the sketch. They end up burying the guy in a cardboard box. Yep, cardboard. In a funeral sadder than a country song. Just a couple of detectives standing there, probably wondering if they'll ever figure this out. They slap the name Jack in the Box on the case because, you know, dead guy in a trunk. Real poetic, Michigan. The cops are stumped. They're out here chasing every lead, knocking on doors, asking if anybody's seen a guy with a flipper tooth. They're thinking maybe he's a migrant worker since the blueberry fields attract a lot of seasonal folks, but every trail leads to a dead end. No DNA matches, no missing person reports, nothing. They're grabbing at straws, wondering if this is some cartel hit or a personal beef gone nuclear. Months turn into years, and the case file just sits there gathering dust like your old high school yearbook. The detectives are frustrated, man. They've got this sketch, this flipper tooth, and a whole lot of questions, but no answers. They're like, how does a dude get smoked this bad and nobody knows who he is? It's like the guy dropped from outer space. By now, the sheriff's probably dreaming about this case, waking up in a cold sweat thinking about that damn trunk. Fast forward to 2005, and the sheriff's had enough of this unsolved nonsense. He's like, we gotta think outside the box. So he hits up a professor at Hope College, this fancy little school nearby, and says, yo, can your students make a movie about this? Maybe it'll jog someone's memory. The professor's like, well, bet, let's do it. So these college kids, probably hyped on Red Bull and true crime podcasts, dive in and make a 50-minute documentary called, what else? Jack in the Box. This ain't no low-budget student film either. They've got crime scene photos, grainy video footage, interviews with the cops, the whole deal. The goal? Get this out to the public and hope someone, somewhere, goes, oh, snap, I know that guy. They premiere it at a local theater, send copies to Michigan TV stations, and pass out DVDs to other police departments like it's mixtapes in the 90s. The sheriff's thinking, this is it! We're about to blow this case wide open. But guess what? Crickets. Nobody calls, nobody emails, nobody's snitching. The film's out there, but it's like throwing a pebble in Lake Michigan. Barely a ripple. The case stays cold, and the sheriff's back to square one, probably wondering if he should have just stuck to writing parking tickets. Now, let's fast forward to April 2015, when this case finally gets some juice. Out of nowhere, the sheriff starts getting these cryptic emails one night after work. It's some chick named Deneen Ducharne, and she's freaking out, typing stuff like, I'm scared, I know something, help. Turns out, Deneen caught the Jack in the Box doc, floating around online, probably on some sketchy true crime forum, and it hit her like a ton of bricks. She's like, that burned up dude in the trunk, that's my stepdad, Roberto Caraballo, aka Juan Centrada. And the one who did him dirty? My mom, Beverly McCulloch. Hold up, what? Denine's out here snitching on her own mama? That's some next level family drama. She tells the cops the murder went down in the basement of their house in Charlotte, Michigan. According to Denine, Beverly went full-on Kill Bill, grabbed a hammer, smashed Roberto's head like a piñata, then bagged his face with a plastic bag and tied a rope around his neck to make sure he was done. After that, they stuffed him in a van, drove out to the blueberry fields, threw him in a trunk, and lit it up like a 4th of July bonfire. Oh, and Denine mentions there's a third player in this mess, some dude named Chris McMillan. The cops are like, holy plot twist, Batman. They roll up to the house in Charlotte, check out the basement, and find a patch of concrete that looks way newer than the rest. They dig it up, and boom, there's Roberto's blood, dried up but still screaming, I was here. And guess what else you know? Some of Denine's DNA is mixed in. Uh-oh, girl, you just went from helpful witness to potential accomplice real quick. So the cops go on a manhunt for Chris McMillan. It takes them over a year, probably scrolling through every MySpace profile in Michigan, but they finally track him down. Chris is like, yeah, Denine was in on it. She had the hammer first, swinging like she's in the World Series. But Beverly was screaming, give me that hammer, and went to town on Roberto's head till the thing got stuck in his skull. Then they bagged his face, tied the rope, and made sure he wasn't getting up. Beverly sitting on Roberto to hold him down. Denine holding the bag tight, and him just standing there like, well, this escalated. After Roberto's done, the three of them haul the body upstairs, stuff it in a van, and drive out to the blueberry fields. They toss him in the trunk, douse it with gas, and light it up. Chris is like, man, I didn't sign up for this, but here we are. Chris knows he's in deep, so he cuts a deal. 15 years in prison if he testifies against Beverly and Denine. The cops are like, deal. Denine, though, she's stubborn. She's like, I ain't pleading guilty, I'm innocent, and takes her chances at trial. The jury hears Chris's story, sees the blood evidence, and they're like, girl, you're cooked. Denine gets slapped with life in prison for first-degree murder. No parole, no nothing. Here's where it gets wild. Beverly ain't in Michigan anymore. Right after the murder, she's like, peace out, and moves the whole family to Jamaica. Yeah, Jamaica. Then she meets some random dude online from Pakistan, marries him faster than you can say green card, and jets off to the Middle East. And this woman's got more aliases than a con artist. 6 or 7 last names bouncing from country to country like she's in a spy flick. So why'd Beverly go full psycho on Roberto? It's all about the cash and the lifestyle. Back in the day, Roberto was deep in the drug game, making serious bank. Beverly loved that life. Fast money, no rules, living like a queen. But when Roberto got out of prison, he flipped the script. He's reading the Bible every night, being a devoted dad to their daughter Cicely and trying to go straight. Beverly's like, excuse me, where's my drug money? I didn't sign up for this suburban dad nonsense. She kept pushing him to get back in the game, and Roberto's like, nah, I'm good. It wasn't just the money, though. Beverly resented Roberto for changing. She wanted the old, wild Roberto, not this Bible-thumping family man version. Beverly's living her best fugitive life until 2020, when she slips up. She's chilling in Rome, Italy, probably sipping espresso when she checks into a hotel. The clerk runs her ID, and bam! Interpol's like, yo, we got a hit. Beverly arrested, and the cops are popping champagne. But getting her back to the US ain't easy. It takes 2 years of legal back and forth, but in 2022, Beverly's finally extradited, landing in Grand Rapids, Michigan, looking like she's about to play the I'm just a sweet old lady. Fun fact, while in an Italian jail, Beverly had a heart attack and was clinically dead for a hot second before they brought her back. The cops are like, Even death can't save you, Bev. The trial is straight up Jerry Springer material. Beverly takes the stand, rocking a fake Italian accent like she's auditioning for The Godfather. She's like, I loved Roberto. I didn't mean to kill him. Chris testifies, and he's not holding back. He's like, nah, Beverly was the mastermind. She was yelling, give me the hammer. Then she sat on him while Deneen held the bag. The blood evidence backs him up. Roberto's blood in the basement, Deneen's DNA in the concrete. Even the hammer found at the scene matches the wounds. Cicely's in tears, telling the jury, you took my dad, but you don't get to take his legacy. I'm his legacy. My kids are his legacy. And you're done. The jury's out for like 2 hours. Barely enough time to grab a coffee before they come back with the verdict. Guilty of second-degree murder. Guilty of mutilating a corpse. Beverly gets 40 to 60 years for the murder and 10 to 15 for the body burning. The judge is like, you're a menace and society needs protecting. At sentencing, Cicely stands up one last time and lays into Beverly. This is the last time you'll see me, the last time you'll hear my voice. You took Dad, but you get no credit for me. Your legacy ends with you. Mic drop, courtroom erupts, and Beverly's still sitting there like she's unbothered. Cold as ice, man.